I'd be at a show every weekend or like every day that I could get the day off or whatever, the next day off. And I meet up like so many people. I feel kind of like a jerk because I can't remember everybody. But for somebody that meets a million people like a day, I do pretty good. I want to be humble and be like, oh, like I can't remember everybody. No, yeah, I can. I try. But even if I don't like pick up name for sure, I'm be like, yeah, that guy looks like somebody that I know, which means that I probably know him.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna just not be, shy. I'm just be like, hey, what's up? Like, what's the worst that could happen? You make a new friend.
Yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember when I saw you, I was thinking like, oh man, I've listened to her music before. I was like, oh, this girl. And I think I had been to one show, but like, and that's why like I really was like, oh yeah, I'm so glad that you're like the first episode because I was like, oh man, I really want to get her because you're one of the first people that like I heard on the scene.
Gotcha. Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, it was like 6C, and then it was.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Because I had met the girl from 6C, and like, because I grew up in high school. That's a long story. My ex like really liked them, and then I got into them. Whatever. We don't have to get into that. Right. But like, I wanted it to be you because
I literally dated the drummer. Yeah.
You dated Cameron?
Yeah.
Oh my word.
We even have a commercial together that we did for my best friend's like advertising class or whatever, and it's got it's because I worked at Moonbeams and that's how we met.
Oh my word.
Literally the way that we met was because I was working and I was going in. I had my sunglasses on. And he goes up to me like, hey, like just starts talking to me like he's met me a million times. I'm just like, who's this? And then we dated for like I think a little under a year.
I like the skip to that. And then we dated for like a year.
Almost a year. Yeah. So Audrey was like my homegirl for a really long time.
Yeah.
I miss her. She's so awesome.
Yeah, she moved to Austin, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's so. Dude, I had no idea because they had left to Austin, and I had bought like their CDs and everything. Like I had a T-shirt and everything. I was in on them, and then they moved like right after I turned 18 or something like that.
So I was like, fuck.
So I could never see them live. Oh, I think I saw them at the convention center once, the McAllen Convention Center when like they first started doing that thing. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's funny. So like, so you were that's so crazy to me.
I was in that mix, yeah.
But yeah, so the main thing I want to do with this podcast, I just felt like I was like, man, there's a lot of people in the scene, and I really wanted to like ask them about their story and like about their influences and like their references.
Oh yeah.
Like it's like musical context.
Yeah.
I feel like that's not like talked about a lot, and there's not a lot of podcasts that like really go in depth of like, so why are you making the art that you are? And like, I don't know.
Why do you want to be poor? No, I'm joking.
I mean, that is what it is a
lot
of the
time. But
it's like, why aren't you just selling your soul to the system?
Exactly, yeah. Well, I mean, we have to a little bit, but in order to do the thing that we're trying to do, yeah.
Especially, even to like distribution systems. But anyways, I just,
yeah.
But like I just really felt like that's what I want to do, and I'm glad that you are the first one. And I just wanted to say that at the out front. But then as a side note, I found out that you dated one of my favorite Valley band drummer, and he's actually I actually really liked seeing him live. Anyways, so
this is why I love the scene. It's like it's not small because obviously there's like a bunch of different genres within our scene where like everybody has like their own little gangs and stuff like that, little cliques. Hi, Dad. And he said, "Hi, Mark."
Oh, hi, Mark.
Oh, hi, Mark.
I did not hit her. I did not.
I did not. Oh my God, we need to keep that at some point because I want Luna to see that.
You said you like dogs, right?
Yeah.
My
a puppy.
My dad and his girlfriend have 2 dogs. Or 3 dogs. 2.
I need them.
They're not puppies though. They're about 18 to 15 years old.
Even better, geriatric dogs.
It's so sad.
Oh.
They have like one of them has cancer.
Oh man.
So it's really sad. But whenever I get to see them, I'm like, oh, like let me just like be nice to you. I don't know when the next time.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah.
If only we treated humans that way.
If only.
I'm joking. No, no. The scene is so small, but like obviously there's a lot of people in it. So like, I ended up dating like a good chunk of like musicians that are like in bigger, like more influential Valley bands. And obviously I'm still on good terms with everybody because otherwise
Yeah.
we wouldn't be doing the shits, right?
People love you. Like people, I'm
Like
like
a little too
yeah.
much. It's just too fun. It's too fun to like just, play shows together and then, like, all right, like let's go, party after and you meet a bunch of people.
Did you press record on that? Yeah. Okay, sorry. I realized I didn't.
A puppy. 2 puppies. 3 puppies. Oh my God. No, please go ahead. That made my day. Puppies.
No, you have a good time. Like whenever I've seen you play, like
I love playing shows. If I could pay to only do that, I would be so happy. Because I have professional goals. Professional, right? Professional goals too. But I think if I could be like a touring musician and have people like sing my songs and buy my, that is for sure my biggest dream. But of course, that's not always reality for everybody. But I think from what I hear from other people, I feel like I have a pretty good chance of at least like getting some fraction of that experience, even if it's not like forever or whatever. If it doesn't sustain me for the rest of my life, I don't care. I just want to do it at least once.
Yeah, I get you. That's what that's I think that's the goal for like I mean I don't know that to me that's my goal. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't really matter about making money because obviously I think a lot of people in the scene that I've met, if their goal was making money,
They wouldn't be doing that. Yeah.
they wouldn't be spending the money they spend on gear.
They'd be selling Herbalife. No, I'm joking.
They'd be selling solar.
Yeah.
They'd be selling the.
That'd be the Cutco knives people.
Oh man, those guys are scary because like they're
Yeah.
trying to sell you something and they have a knife like literally looking at you while they're sharpening it.
Yeah. And they cut like a super intense rope. I almost worked for Cutco one time when I was in high school because I've been a hustler since I was 16.
Oh wow.
Well, 15 actually because I told you I'm an immigrant, right? I'm from Monterrey. And whenever we moved over here, went to Texas, I was on like this mission, like I'm going to make my life here, da 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 da. And whenever I was 15, I was like, I really needed a job because my family was going through a really hard time. So I got a gig with like paid cash on our table at like some Thai or Vietnamese place for like veterans. It was really weird. The lady in the kitchen was always yelling at me, but I didn't understand her. But every once in a while, she gave me a free little egg roll, which was nice. But that's when I was 15. So obviously, like, like, were you trying to work at 15? And then after I got my first job at Johnny Carino's. Yeah, and all that money I made.
Johnny Carino's here?
No, in Victoria.
Oh.
Yeah. So
There was one.
The last Johnny Carino's on Earth. There used to be one here, yeah.
That's the one in Brownsville, actually.
Oh, yeah,
Oh, we gotta go. I should have gone. I was just there. I should have gone.
I didn't even
missed
know.
the opportunity.
I didn't even know that until you told me that like when was that like a month ago? And I remember just being like, that's crazy.
Like, why is that still a thing?
That'd be like finding out there's another Blockbuster somewhere. Like, oh, there's a Blockbuster.
I used
in
to live
Brownsville.
next to the last one over here in Far in Edinburgh. I used to live right next to it. And me and my partner at the time, we would go in there just to buy candy, but we would never get movies. And it's like, because they were like last discount in the world, like, take it, just take it. It was practically free, but we were like, no, I think we'll just buy this $5 box of candy.
$5.
Yeah, like
Oh,
for
you're
some
right.
reason the candy's expensive as shit.
That's true.
I'm like, why? This is not what you do. This is not what you need.
They had one here on Veterans. They had
Yeah.
one on Veterans, and it was like had video games too.
Oh shit.
Funny that the video games one lasted longer than the Blockbuster, and like the video games
Yeah.
one was like, it was like nothing, but they were
Yeah.
making money because like that was when video games started to hit like
Oh,
PS2,
yeah.
Xbox 360, but they
No,
were
fuck a
releasing
Blockbuster. Hollywood, all the way.
Hollywood video.
Yeah, they had all the weird VHS tapes
all of
for
the
like
movies.
$3.
There's a show coming up, Bummer Shed.
Oh
Have you
yeah,
heard-
yeah.
Have you seen Bummer
I
Shed?
saw a video.
It's a Halloween cover band that they're looking for.
Oh really? Oh shit.
They're literally
prepping
looking-
early.
Yeah, they're prepping early.
I don't know.
You might-
Maybe we'll see. I'm really loyal to only working the one that Patrick hosts, cause I played it twice. So I played a Best Coast cover band my first year, and then I played a Japanese Breakfast cover band the second year.
Okay.
And that one I wasn't singing. I was on the keyboard, and I dressed up like the Hamburglar, and I carried around a little like Happy Meal box, and that was my purse. It's like you open it, it's like my car keys, my cigarettes, and like I don't fucking know, like a bunch of other. Yeah, it was. Yeah. I wanted us to all do that, but of course everybody had different plans, so we were all dressed up differently. But it was a really fun time that time too, because we got to play. It was me, Lavette. I don't know.
Is that Mari's?
Yeah,
Mari's
baby,
girlfriend.
yeah, his girl. I missed her so much, and they both are now in New York doing big things.
Seeing Julian Casablancas of all things.
Right, so
That
cool.
to me, that was like, I was like, this is just.
Are they over there permanently now, or what? Or are they just visiting?
Yeah, I didn't know if they moved permanently or not.
No, I'm pretty sure they. Well, I know Lavette for sure. That's like her dream. She has a job out there. Like that's her thing. So
She was
I'm pretty
big.
sure Marty was like doing that shit too.
She was big in because I went to UTRGV when
Yeah.
they were both there.
Yeah, yeah.
And like I would see them all the time because I guess she's a communications major.
Yeah.
Right? Well,
So she did like all the fashion shows with
Yeah.
like. I remember the one that she did
The
that I
Pulse.
went to. Yeah, it was like a fashion show. It was really cool. All the models were so beautiful, and it was such a cool like mix of styles, and the fact that she curated like everything, like
Yeah.
that was entirely so much of like her gig, and then she had bands play. So I
and
was
then
like,
she
wow.
played. She
Yeah,
played.
yeah, yeah.
She played the keys. I think I remember
Yeah.
seeing that because that was the first day I met Mari.
Yeah.
And because I had met him through Jake. I don't know if you know Jake Solis. He's like Mari's friend. But I met him.
think so, yeah.
I mean, we all met through like UTRGV.
Yeah.
Playing keys for
He'd been playing keys for him. But I met him that day, and then it was kind of like a chance thing.
Yeah.
It was kind of like a chance thing, and
That's
then
so cool.
and then later on he was like, he saw my SoundCloud or something, or he like, I think Jake showed him something of mine, and he was like, oh dude, this is this guy. He's such a nice guy.
Yeah.
I love that guy. He's so nice.
His
to me.
vibe is truly immaculate. He's super funny.
We
He's
mosh
really
together.
humble. Yeah. And he makes really good music. Like,
Yeah.
cae muy bien el vato.
Yeah, we were there last time you played when you played with the
Oh,
Tropicasa, you
yeah.
played with him, right?
And we put the sparkler
The
in his
sparkler
guitar.
in
That
his
was
guitar.
so cool.
And he was kind of like, I don't know,
No, that was super fun.
That was
I
a
like
night.
that show a lot.
Yeah, that was definitely.
Dan Petra from San Marcos, I think they are, or from Austin.
Yeah.
They're a delight. They're so sweet, and they have such
Yeah.
a cool, like, little raspy voice, and the little kazoo solo.
Their guitar was really cool.
Oh my God, beyond. Yeah, I think they did a really good job, and they were such a cool person to play for. And then on top of that, we get to see Amaury with a sparkler. It was such a cool moment. It brought me back to like pre-pandemic shows where like always doing crazy like, and then you get to talk about it the next day. Like, oh, did you guys see what happened at the show last night? I missed that. The recap the next day. Like, oh,
Yeah.
I missed it. What happened?
That was-
yeah, there
yeah.
was like a
That was pre
crazy
Delta.
pit. Yeah,
That was like pre Delta. Now people have kind of like they're like Tropicasa is like RSVP and stuff. I wanted to
Yeah.
go to their show, but I didn't RSVP, so couldn't go
Oof.
to the one. Isaiah Flowers, have you seen that? That was like they had his album. His album came out. You might like him.
Okay, I'll check it out.
Isaiah Flowers. I heard some of his stuff through my friend David Hermosillo. I don't know if you know.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Maybe you're like
I'm so bad
Joseph
with
Stingley.
names. I'm so bad with names. I would have to really be like looking at a face because I mentioned I know so many people without knowing. Like people come up to me
Yeah.
after I played or just random shows where I'm supporting like somebody that's playing. And I'm like, hey, like what's up? Blah, blah, blah. Like because they've seen me on the internet, really.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, hey, what's up? I'm not gonna be like, who are you? I'm not gonna do that. But at the same time, that also kind of like gives me the trouble of finding out who they are. Like maybe like 3 shows later, I'm like, hey,
Guy.
buddy, hey, bud, what's going on?
Hey, buddy, old pal.
Yeah. And they think I'm just being friendly, which I am. But it's also like, tell me your fucking name. Oh my God. I swear to God, if you don't tell me your name. And then it's also with social media, like things can look so different. So maybe I'll get like a couple follows. Like after I played a gig, like last night I hosted a karaoke. I fell asleep with my Freddie Mercury mustache on. I swear to God. I had a very good time.
Freddie would be proud though.
I'm sure it was a really good time. But after hosting that, and hosting karaoke is almost like doing stand-up. You're goofing around, trying to call people out and be like, joke around. One time I hosted a karaoke where an older guy was yawning while I was talking. I was like, hey, everybody, like, come sign up. And he's yawning, and then I turn around, I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. Am I putting you to sleep, sir? That's Grandpa, have you taken your medicine yet? And they thought it was so funny. It could have gone so wrong, but they thought it was hilarious. They're like, no. I was like, am I boring you, sir? It's Mimi's time, sir. And he was like, no. But like, he was laughing. Yeah. His wife was laughing, and they were having a really good time. So I was like, I'm just kidding. All right, give me $10. No. And most of the part of karaoke is kind of daring people, poking at them a little bit until they're like, I'm gonna go sing a song.
She's wrong. I can't sing. I'm not an old man.
Yeah. And then he does like the splits or something in the middle, and then they have a good time. Everybody loves seeing other people, sing karaoke and really turn it out. Yeah. So sometimes whenever I'm doing that, it's like people think, oh my God, they're so funny. What, like, I got to find out who this person is. And they won't ask me directly. Sometimes they might ask like their friend who does know me. Like, hey, who is this? Oh, that's Allie, Spooky Booty on Instagram. Like everybody knows me. Oh, okay, cool. Oh man, like they're this, they're that, whatever. And then I'll get a follows like after a show, and I'm like, who the f are these people? Because they never said hi to me, but I'm sure they'll say hi to me at some point, or like they'll walk to the bathroom, and on their way to the bathroom, I'm like, you're so funny, and then thank you.
Or they'll go on your Bandcamp and listen to your album.
Yeah.
Which is definitely underrated, I gotta say.
Thank you.
I'll say on the podcast. I really, when I first, so I don't know who showed me your stuff. I don't remember exactly like how I got into your stuff, but it was through Instagram because I followed like some people in the scene. Yeah. And then I ended up finding your thing.
I love when people share my music, and it's even better when they don't tag me. I'll just be watching my friends' stories like, oh, I wonder what they're doing. And then it's like their car radio with like my name on it. Like, I love it. Yeah. Because when they tag me, like, obviously they want me to see it, which I think is obviously the same. Very sweet. But when they don't tag me, they don't even think about it. They're like, I just want to share that I'm listening to a song. Yeah. I'm not going to get a notification about it. I'm just going to stumble upon it. It's really cool.
It's like that validation as an artist that, like, even when, even in the back, like,
when I'm not looking, they're still
listening to it. Yeah, that's what I meant. Mm-hmm.
It's so cool. It makes me feel really good, especially whenever I catch other people like singing the lyrics to my songs. It's super cool. It's one of my favorite things about playing shows, that people memorize the words to something that I wrote and they vibe with it. They like it so much they want to sing along. It's a really good feeling.
That reminds me, I really wanted to ask as a fan. I was like, when is she coming out with new music? Like, is there any thing in the future? Because I am interested. I want to know.
Yeah, big time. It's just, last year, pre-pandemic, like early January, or not even January, I think I started already paying for it the year before, 2019. I decided that I was going to go on a solo trip to Montana because I just thought it was a really cool and beautiful place. And I organized it. I bought my ticket. I got my Airbnb like 6, 7, 8 months in advance. Yeah, I was ready. I was putting away money every day to spend and have a good time. And then pandemic hit, and then we got stuck in quarantine. I was like getting nervous because I was like, oh my God, this thing is not going away, and I have to leave in September. So eventually I thought about canceling it, but I was like, no, because if this is the last thing I get to do, I want to do it. And I went out there. And I was totally by myself. I took my guitar with me and I wrote a bunch of songs out there. It was a really beautiful trip. I just got to hike by myself all day long and go to different little bars and meet people and talk to people from afar, right? But I got to meet this really cool guy, Ken, and he works with like Netflix. He does like videography and stuff like that for like nature documentaries. And he's one of the like bigger influences out there in the film scene up there. I keep saying down there, but it's up there.
Yeah, way up there.
Yeah, in Missoula. And he was a treat. He was just so cool. And Ken, he's an older man, right? Like, he was just so cool and polite and awesome and funny. And usually if I'm alone, I'm going to be wary of like some, old dude that's trying to talk to me at the bar. But he was so cool and was like, come back anytime. Like, the film festival is going to be this day. You can come volunteer. Like, you're set. So while I was there, I still made friends, even though we're in the middle of a pandemic. And whenever I had to come back, I was so heartbroken. I think about it all the time and I miss it so much. But while I was out there, I wrote some songs in my little Airbnb. And I still have them. It's just been really hard to work on them just because they came from a place that's so like, oh, like that I don't feel like I'm ready to go back to. Because after I wrote the songs, I was kind of like exorcising this really terrible experience that I had gone through. It was a really, really hard breakup, and everything that I wrote was like bad. Well, not bad, but it was like it just brings me back to that point. And so while we were in quarantine and we were working from home and all that stuff this past year, while I was trying to kind of recuperate from that and really bring myself back to who I really am instead of like the insane person that I was feeling like for almost like a year, because it was like the breakup and then the full year after that it was still like torment. So I still had to kind of deal with that on my own, kind of get through it. So now that I'm at like this awesome point in my life where I feel most like myself, I feel like more peaceful. It's kind of hard to go back to those because I don't want to remember those things. But I know it's important to work on those songs because I like them. They're really like I wrote a good song. I wrote some good songs, and I feel like it's a disservice to my trip to not release what I wrote up there, cuz all that fresh air, all that like alone time and deep alone time where no one knows you is so meaningful, and it made such an impact on my life. I definitely recommend anybody out there that wants to take a solo trip, just do it, because it's something to go somewhere where somebody might recognize you. Like, who the was gonna recognize me in Missoula? No one. So I have no reason to act a certain way or be a certain way for anybody else. Whereas anywhere that I go here, if I run into somebody that I know, I'm gonna have to be a certain way for them. Even if I'm not in the mood or whatever. If like a student comes up to me while I'm off the clock, or like a parent or somebody from my shows or whatever, I have to like, hey, what's up? Like, what's going on? And not saying that it's like a great pull, like it's a great effort from me, because obviously I'm naturally very inclined to talk to people, like socially. But people expect you to be a certain way because they think they know you. But whenever nobody knows you, you don't have to act like anything. You can just chill and be yourself. And that can bring out, I guess, like a lot of things that maybe you weren't ready to feel or think about. Because when you're around other people and you're having a really tough time, and they generally know you as this really happy person, but literally like you want to die all the time because you're having such a terrible time, you kind of have to put up a front and be like, no, I'm fine, like it's cool, I'm going through a time, but I'm okay. Then whenever you're somewhere where nobody knows you, well, who gives a fuck? Yeah, I am going through it, like you don't have to act any certain way. You don't have to act happy. You can just be sad. You might alarm some people, but what do they care? They're not your neighbors, they're not your friends, they're not your family. Like,
It's
you
kind of
can
like
just be you.
throwing yourself into a different scenario where you don't even know, because like even the people act different in different regions of the world.
Yeah.
I mean, here you can kind of what you're gonna get.
Yeah.
And there you
Who
might
fucking knows?
meet a Ken. You might meet a Ken, a really nice guy that
Yeah.
like, I don't know.
I hope
As opposed
everyone
to
meets
all
a
the
Ken.
old
He was
dudes
so
here.
awesome.
Meets a Ken.
I hope you all get to meet a Ken someday. But I had such a good time out there. I really miss it. And for a while, because I was going through such a rough time, I was like, I'm just going to move up there because I don't want to be here. And then I realized, I think it was just like the experience was so bad that it almost like ruined the valley for me. But I decided not to let somebody do that because I fucking love it here. I really, really, really ride for the valley. I'm not even from here, but I love it here. Yeah, I
The
represent super
956.
hard. I literally have a Tlacuache tattooed on me with a lower 956 on him.
That's what I want. I honestly want like 956 on me. Or
I think you
something
should
like
do it.
that. I don't have any tattoos yet, but I'm looking at your art and I'm like, oh, man, I really want something.
Just do it. What's the worst that can happen?
Nothing.
Exactly.
I am gonna get it for sure. I am gonna get one for sure.
Yeah.
I think the first thing though is because I really want to get one of like a family member, because like I had a little
Nice.
family members that like passed away this year.
I'm so sorry.
No. I don't want to. Sorry. But yeah,
But that's so nice of you to want to create this like really meaningful memorial. I think tattoos, it's either like really meaningful or just like a it thing. A lot of my little ones, like they're just little, Friday 13th bangers. But I had good experiences with them. Some of these I have matching with my best friend. I have two matching ones with my best friend. And one of them is like a Friday 13th banger. This one's from when I went to ACO with my friends from Georgia. And we waited out there like at a shop for like hours just to get like a little 5-minute tattoo. But they had a good time. They were like, we love Texas. I'm like, yeah, move here.
Move here.
Yeah, yeah. But I love Georgia too. So it's like, I understand why y'all are out there because I love it. So beautiful.
Yeah. Something about Georgia, like you can run there because like the valley is nice and all, but when it gets hot and you're like running or like you're doing anything athletic, like say you're playing outside or
Yeah,
something,
You're dying.
You're dying. But when you're in Georgia, and even if it's hot, you can just like, I don't know, you can just
Still
keep
do
going.
it. Yeah, yeah. It's manageable.
It's manageable. I wanted to know about like your musical influences because like I obviously know that you like always. Sorry,
Always. If that's how you say it, it's done.
I got used to saying it that way. I wanted to know some more about some some of your musical influences that maybe people don't see.
Yeah.
Because I've heard you like sing some 70s song, like post 70s songs on your sing like Frankie Valli. Like you showed me one of those albums. I don't know what it was, but like the one that's like black, like it's like a black album.
Oh man, a Frankie Valli album?
It was a Frankie Valli album. But you played a song off it and then I was like, "Oh, I need to listen to that album. I haven't heard that album yet." So like I know we share like a lot of 70s. I think that's kind of why we like at least your music I really vibe with. And it's obviously
your song of the day is like my favorite.
Oh,
so
really?
I always like, yeah. I genuinely like look forward to seeing that because I think it's really fun. We did this really cool thing during quarantine. My buddy Austin, who lives in Austin, we went to high school together. He's awesome. He's a sweetie. Bartend serves. He's a baller. So he did this thing for a while that he put on Instagram where he's like, okay, I want to make a community playlist. So you put in one song every day. Everybody that wants to join, put in a song in the playlist every day, and then whoever has the best song, whoever put like my favorite song at the end of the week, I'll buy you a shot, I'll buy you a drink, or I'll send you $5 for a drink.
That's so cool.
And I got the first week. I won the first week, and he sent me $5. I'm obsessed with Michelle Sauner. I think she's so cool. The way that I recently read her book, Crying in H Mart. I highly recommend it. I've never read a book that like as soon as I finished it, I needed to start it again. She just has this like I don't want to say attitude, but this personality that like I feel I really connect to because, well, I trust her because she used to be a server too, and she's worked in like different like fusion cuisine restaurants and stuff like that. So whenever she talks about food, I trust it because she's been in the same gig as me. She's been doing the same shit as me for years too, and playing every show that she gets offered to get out there and play, and then going through a really horrible experience having lost her mom. And the book is like the detail of all that and all the feelings that she felt, and then finding massive success after her mom's passing. Like there's a lot of conflicting emotions in that, and the way she writes about it is so beautiful. And then I think about her experience in her interviews where she's talking about like the music videos. They're doing a series right now where they explain it's like a behind the scenes of the music videos that they made, because all of them are directed by her. And they're all super DIY, which I think is so cool because obviously our scene is extremely DIY. Yeah. And so I see a lot of like my potential when I look at her. So I think they're for sure one of my biggest influences, which is why I did that cover band, because I was like, we have to play this. I want to play these songs. Even if I'm not the one singing it, I have to play this song. And I play them pretty often too on my solo sets. I would say, yeah, always also their interviews on KEXP are always super fun. That's like my background office music. Whenever I need to get done, I play their KEXP sets. I would say those two, but ones that maybe people might not realize would probably be Kacey Musgraves for sure. I look up to her a lot. I think her songwriting feels similar to mine. She's got clever little lines, even in her earlier stuff where it was a little more country and not so like pop.
Yeah.
And even now it's still like pop, but it's like dream country, like shoegaze country type deal.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's coming out with new music soon, so I'm excited to see where that's going because she went through a divorce, and I want to see how her songwriting evolves as she matures. Because in the earlier albums, she's saying these clever little lines that are, plays on words, which I do a lot in my songwriting.
Merry-Go-Round and all these stuff, right?
Yeah,
like that
yeah,
first
yeah.
album.
And
is really
now it's gonna be something more emotional and more like, a little deeper, deeper than saying a clever little,
good. Yeah.
turnaround line or something. So I'm excited to see that. But her, I think she influences me a lot too, just because maybe I don't play country. I love country music, but I don't write country songs. But the thing about country songs that I really like is, the whole point of it is just keeping it simple. 4 chords and the truth. That's all you need to write a country song. And I think that's something that I put into my songwriting. So I would feel like her, and I don't know. I think that those are my big 3 for sure.
Yeah, I've heard the Kacey Musgraves. You guys have like a kind of like a twang.
Yeah.
Like, you have a little, like a tiny bit of twang. And I think that I definitely like, and then when you sing Kacey Musgraves songs, I'm like, oh, like it makes sense why she'd pick this song.
I love her voice, and I feel like her range is perfect.
Oh, yeah.
So it fits right into mine. So that's why I like covering her songs a lot too. But whenever I listen to her in interviews or I read interviews of hers, I feel like, oh, this could be my homegirl. And I know a lot of people say that about like their favorite artists and stuff, right? But like it's more about like the way she talks about the things that really mean something to her. Not just like, oh, I'm wearing this dress by so and so or whatever. Like, oh yeah, playing this show, playing a festival.
Yeah.
It's like she literally was up on a huge stage at a festival. Was like, when I say ye, you say ha, ha. I didn't say ye. Like, that's fucking hilarious. Like that sounds like something I would fucking say at my gig. So it just sometimes whenever I look up to musicians or like artists or whatever. It's not because maybe they've done this like life-changing thing for me. It's more because they serve as a mirror for me, like what I could be doing. If things go the right way and I keep working and, keep taking the steps to become that.
I think you're already a force on our scene at least. Like,
I try.
I mean, I feel like, how long have you been in RGV scene, music scene?
Playing?
Yeah.
Maybe like 4 years, I think. 3 or 4 years.
4 years.
Yeah. 4 years even. I think 4 years will be like coming up soon because I released my EP maybe like almost now 2 years ago. But before that, I was playing a couple gigs here and there. But the only reason I ever even started was because I was at South by Southwest, just chilling, watching my friends play. And we went to an after party, and these people were, from like different bands from all around the world, or not all around the world, all around the United States, right? We, got to see a cool little house show. I'm wearing their shirt now, Grey Haven. They're awesome. They're from Kentucky. They were all having a good time, partying. We're all chilling. And then Hikes was there. And so I think it was Nate that was like, hey, well, do you do anything? Like, do you play? I was like, oh, well, I wrote like a song recently, but I don't really like play shows. And they were like, oh, like play a song for us. And so everybody else was like, oh, you're going to play? Because everybody else that had met me that night, they didn't expect it, I guess. Yeah, play a song. And then I played Wanted. And everybody was like, you need to keep doing that. And after that, that's when everything like changed for me. That I was like, oh, I can do that. I should keep doing that. You're right. And now I'm here. So I think back then, whenever I just had my one song, it was a lot harder for me to feel like confident. But now because I would only play covers at shows. I remember when the Sugar Cube was still a thing.
Oh yeah, the hospital place.
Yeah, I played there a couple times, and they had the little baby stage and stuff. But I played mostly covers, and I felt so insecure because there was hardly anybody there. But it was a really small coffee shop. And now I can play like full bars, and I can play in bands and stuff. Like
making everybody, you're like yelling at people, I love you too, random citizen.
It's my favorite thing, because then people will yell at the craziest, like, take off your shirt, Eric. I'm like, my name's Allie. People yell random shit at you while you're playing, and like it's like stand up.
Yeah.
It's just like stand up because you have to be able to be fast to turn it into a really good moment, and then keep them hooked, and then keep them drinking, keep them like tipping. You know?
Yeah.
Is that what you like about it? Because that's how I see a lot of. I think that's what makes live performance so special is that you want it to be different every time.
Every
It's all
time.
those small little moments that happen is what creates
Yeah.
the totality of it, which is
Exactly. I want everyone to know that, like, my MO to really be like, oh, every time I see them, I have such a good time. They're so funny, and their songs are really good. I want the MO to be like, every time I've gone to their show, I've had a really great time. Because otherwise, then what's the point? You know, like maybe they had a bad time. Maybe it's like maybe they had personal drama that happened at the show or whatever. Maybe
They almost got thrown out. Like
yeah,
everyone.
or maybe they almost got in a fight or some shit like that. But regardless of those kind of outer experiences, but yeah, the show was really fun. Like I had a really good time. I want that to be the thing. Like regardless of what happens, you're gonna come to my show. You're gonna have a good time.
So I have one thing I want to show you. I want to see if you know who this is.
Oh, my baby boy, Bourdain.
Anthony Bourdain.
I love his long hair pictures. He's so
Yeah.
cute.
I wanted to ask you about Anthony Bourdain just because I know Sleeping Song. You've mentioned
Yeah.
it before. Sleeping Song is about, like, you wrote it for Anthony Bourdain, right?
I wrote it around the time that he passed away.
Around the time he passed
Yeah.
away.
Basically for him, because I was really distraught. I was so upset, but I understood. You know, it wasn't like, I don't know. I feel like when people think of suicide, like they think of it as a betrayal, because who suffers from death? The people that are still here. So a lot of people think of it as like this betrayal. Like how could you leave me here? But I understood it because obviously, you know, like I, just like anybody, struggle with depression, anxiety. Even now, I'm like the happiest person to a lot of people, but like I struggle. And of course, we live in a world where like that's the thing, because we live in such a time, the worst season of the universe. But it's like whenever I heard it, like I was upset, obviously, but I understood. And it made me have that feeling of like when somebody dies like that, a lot of people are like, oh, I should have said something. I should have reached out, like shoulda, coulda, woulda, all kinds of things, right? And then a lot of people are very quick to be like, be kind. You never know what someone's going through. Or check in on your friends. But in the song, what I'm saying is like, don't check on me like that. Like, don't be doing that shit, because regardless of that, it's gonna happen if it happens. Like, this is not a threat. This is not a call for help, because obviously I'm doing a lot better. But it's just that like the people that are living make the experience so about themselves, when really what they should be looking at is more about like the world as a collective. Like Bourdain had been struggling with for years. So it's like, how can you expect your one little action to take off years of struggle from the world? Like, why don't we just work as a society to create a better place so that this is not the normal? Like, there's a lot of jokes about it. I joke around a lot about it, like on TikTok and stuff like that. About like, haha, I want to kill myself. And it's like, that shouldn't be normal, but I'm like, this is super funny. You know, like I joke around a lot like that, and then people are like, are you okay? Like, yes, I'm fine. I'm not going to kill myself just because, you know, one thing went wrong today. I'm just going to say it because I need to let it out. And because people don't normalize mental illness, because it's such like a hush hush, like, oh, he's depressed. You know, instead of actually doing something to work on it for this person, then instead, after, you know, they kill themselves, they're like, oh, we should have done more. Like, yeah, maybe you should have talked about things openly, given this person a chance to feel what they're feeling, and then be able to get out of it, you know, or like shake themselves out of it. And so in the song, it's kind of like this, it's almost like a call for help, but it's also not, because it's about me displaying like very obvious signs of depression, but then like denying help, being like, no, don't me check. I know I'm sleeping a lot. I know that I'm not seeing my friends. I know I'm doing this, but don't worry. Like,
Because I'm all right.
yeah, because I'm all right. Like, it's gonna be fine. And it's just one of those things of like what I say in the song is that I feel like I can't talk to anyone because if I tell somebody that I'm depressed or that I have anxiety, then they're going to be like, they're not going to know how to talk to me because there's such a negative stigma around mental illness that I think we need to get over. Like if we can joke about it, we can talk about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it's normal to say I struggle with this, and just because I struggle doesn't mean that I'm going to lose. You know, it just means that this is something that I have to deal with. And if you would make me not feel like a freak about it, that would help me out so much. And then if you could understand that maybe tonight I don't want to go out, maybe tonight I don't want to drink, or maybe tonight, I don't know, you know, I just don't want to see anybody. Or, you know, I don't want to talk about it today, but I do want to talk about it tomorrow. You know, don't make me feel bad about that because it's just, it should be normalized.
Yeah.
We lose great people all the time to horrible, horrible things and then wonder why they left. Like, I want to leave too. But obviously, my situation is a lot different. Everybody's got different things. But I feel like if we created a better world for that, to talk about that, we would probably lose a lot less people. Especially someone so great like Anthony Bourdain. His life is so inspiring to me. He was such a force of nature, honestly. And whenever I think of him, you know, leaving, I get it. I'm like, you know what? All right. So I wrote that song just because I was hurting from it, but I saw myself in that moment too. Because in that specific year too, I was really struggling with my mental health really, really badly. And I didn't want to talk to anybody about it. So then I thought about like how he must have felt. Like he probably don't want to talk to anybody either.
Because then, especially with like people that are famous, like,
Yeah.
they feel like, oh well, they're gonna be saying stuff like, oh, you're famous, you shouldn't be struggling with something like that. So.
Exactly. So it's just maybe if we just normalized it, maybe it wouldn't be such a problem.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was a great influence for me, especially being as like a food service legend.
Yeah.
No, me being the legend.
I realize that now, and I realize now why, kind of, because he's like, as far as food goes, he was like a
I
force.
really trust people that have been in the food industry, like service industry, because I think it's such a humbling experience to deal with people like that in that setting, and getting all the Karens and getting all the, you know, like all the people that couldn't give a fuck about your existence, treat you like a subhuman, you know, that's humbling, not in a good way, but it is humbling. So anybody that's been able to get through those days and still go home and be like, all right, shots on me, and then show up to work the next day on time, like those are the people that I trust because I'm one of those people, you know. So to me, like, that's important to be able to be humble like that. I trust those people the most. So Bourdain being like the number one service industry person, I'm like, so sad.
I wanted to give you this because I have this gift here.
A gift.
Yeah, behind the magic green screen. I bought you a little. I thought you might. I don't know. You probably have
That
it,
is so
honestly.
cool.
It's a little Bourdain shirt.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
this
well,
is so sweet.
I'm so happy that you came because honestly, like, I couldn't think of anybody else to do it, like to do like the first episode of anything like this, because I was like, I really wanted to be Ali. Like, it's alphabetical.
So many. True.
It's A. Like, you know, it all makes sense.
It all worked out.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
What's
This is
your
so sweet.
What's
Huh?
your last name?
Martinez. So.
That's what I said, Martinez. Yeah, that's why I
Gang,
said
gang.
Martinez clan.
Yeah.
Puro 956. Martinez.
I love that that's like a thing
That's-
down here.
yeah.
Yeah, it's hilarious to me. I said it one time around my family, and they're from Monterrey, right? And they're like, "Hi, qué grosera!" Like they were like, "Who are you?" I was like, "Oh, it's just funny." And now my mom's saying it all the time. She'll be walking around the house like, "I." Mom, hey.
Dude, there's like TikToks like of the taquaches and stuff, and
I
like,
get those a lot.
and there are people commenting on like because some of the TikToks, you know, blow up, but like in the valley, I guess.
Yeah.
Because they whatever, and then you'll just see like comments like, "Bro, I'm from I don't know where the heck. Where is 956?
What is it? Yeah.
What is this?"
They think we're some kind of gang or something.
Yeah.
I love it. Confusing the whites at all times.
Confusing the Whites.
That's
What
gonna
is
be my
it?
next album.
That's gonna be your next album. Confusing the Whites, featuring such hits as "Poisoned on a Greyhound."
On a Greyhound, yeah. Oh, I really should write that as a song. I think of it now after having so much time away from songwriting, because I have notebooks and notebooks of like random lyrics that like get stuck in my head, and then I wanna keep them for later, that I can build like Frankenstein songs. Like,
Yeah.
I actually used to have a song called Young Frankenstein after the movie.
Oh.
Yeah, and I don't play it anymore. I didn't keep it, so I don't really remember how to play it. But it was really cool. I miss that song. But yeah, with like all the different lyrics that I have written down, you can kind of connect them in some way and write a banger. But now I'm thinking about it in like all the songs that I listen to. Like, not everything's about like an introspect. A lot of my songs I feel ask questions like, why me, why now, how could I, like, why is like a huge thing in all my songs. And now I'm thinking about it, maybe it shouldn't always be such like an introspective like journey to the mind or whatever. Like, maybe I can just write about that time I was drunk and I had a really good time.
That's country songs. You
Yeah,
like country
exactly,
songs?
yeah.
That's definitely a lot
Start
of country
writing
songs.
country, like, and I got in my truck and I had a pint of whiskey and then I got pulled over and I just had a great time.
Went on a Greyhound,
What?
poisoned on a Greyhound. That's right. On a Saturday night.
Oh, hey, all right, it's already coming together. It's all coming together.
We'll have Seth come in with the fiddle.
Yeah, give me some slide in there.
You don't play the fiddle?
Not yet. Not with that attitude.
Hey, she's a lesson person. She can get you lessons
Yeah,
to play
I
the
got
fiddle.
you.
Do they actually have violin?
No.
I didn't think
But
so.
I'm sure I could find someone. I'm very resourceful.